Attorney General Frosh.
Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome. Come on in, guys. Thanks for joining us today. I'm joined by County Executive Calvin Ball and by the Howard County Police Department Chief Durr, and by Adam Stahersky, Major Adam Stahersky from the Maryland State Police, and my folks, whom I will recognize in a couple of minutes. We're here to announce indictments against 6 individuals who ran a very sophisticated drug operation in Howard County, Baltimore City, Baltimore County. And what I'm going to say following this is in our indictments, but you need to understand that indictments are only allegations, and these are the allegations we're making in the indictments. The individuals that we have charged are charged with as many as 58 separate counts, including participation in a criminal organization, conspiracy to distribute controlled dangerous substances, possession with intent to distribute, firearm-related counts, some false imprisonment, some assault. And the individuals that have been indicted are 28-year-old Juwan Fulton, 36-year-old Darvin McCoy, 27-year-old Malik Moody, 23-year-old Trayvon Guest, 34-year-old Rymac Milligan, and 23-year-old Treasure Fielding. The investigation was commenced by Howard County, and I have to say they have done an outstanding job. Chief, one of your officers, whom we cannot name today, really did extraordinary work. He was creative, he was determined, he was diligent, and while we can't recognize him, we deeply appreciate it. Congratulate you.
Thank you, sir.
The investigation revealed that as early as September of 2021 through June of 2022, Juwan Fulton and Darvin McCoy were directing an effort to distribute large amounts of fentanyl in Baltimore City, Howard County, Baltimore County. The investigators witnessed Fulton and McCoy provide controlled dangerous substances to multiple redistributors who then distributed them directly to customers. And the redistributors included Malik Moody, Rymac Milligan, and Trayvon Guest. Detectives not only observed hand-to-hand drug transactions dozens of times, but they intercepted communications that confirmed distributions of large amounts of illegal drugs, and they made more than a dozen undercover purchases from 4 different suspects. The defendants' organization was sophisticated. They communicated to each other through text messages, third-party apps. They communicated increases in prices to their customers through group texts. There was turmoil within the organization. At times, Malik Moody attempted to steal drugs and money from one of the leaders of the enterprise, Juwan Fulton, and in retaliation, Moody was assaulted. He was thrown out of the enterprise and told that the only way he could re-enter would be to kill his accomplices in the attempted robbery. After issuing search warrants at several locations, investigators seized more than 2 kilograms of fentanyl, $55,000 in cash, 6 handguns. Investigators linked the controlled substances provided by members of the criminal enterprises to six overdoses, and we believed 2 fatalities. And I think anybody who's been following this recently knows that overdose deaths continue to climb, and fentanyl outpaces every single other drug in this climb. It outpaces other drugs not only in overdoses, but in fatalities. And 2 kilograms of fentanyl is enough to kill 2 million people. This investigation included many partners, and you can see them here. I wanna thank our folks, head of our organized crime division, Katie Dorian, Assistant Attorney General Paul Halliday, Assistant Attorney General Crystal Sanders, and Assistant Attorney General Shannon Price. I want to say as well that we appreciate the support of the DEA, the Howard County Police Department, the Baltimore City Sheriff's Department. Lenny Harrison is here, I think, from them. And we appreciate the assistance of the Baltimore City Police Department, the State Attorney's Office from Howard County. Rich Gibson couldn't be with us today. And also the State's Attorney's Office from Baltimore County. Again, State's Attorney Schellenberger was not able to join us. But the point is that this was all part of Strike Force 7. A strike force that's been put together to include our office and all these other organizations, including the DEA, the ATF, and the Maryland Department of Transportation Authority, and many other agencies that have worked together. I'm trying to make sure I've introduced everybody. I did not mention the Assistant Special Agent in charge of the DEA, Brian Crow, who is here with us today. Welcome, Brian. And with that, I'm going to turn it over to County Executive Howard County, Calvin Ball.
Thank you so much, Mr. Attorney General. And I just want to thank Mr. Frosh for hosting us here today, and to all of the agencies that have worked so collaboratively to bring today's announcement to fruition. Howard County continues to be a community with very low crime rates, and we've worked tirelessly to ensure that all of our residents not only are safe, but feel safe. However, we know that no community is immune to the impacts of substance misuse. And too many of our neighbors, our friends, our family members are living with addiction and dying from overdoses in our neighborhoods and throughout the state of Maryland. In Howard County, we're creating pathways to combat substance use disorders, supporting residents in need, and training residents to respond during crises. In fact, we've seen non-fatal and fatal disorders decrease to their lowest level since 2017, at 20% and 61% decrease respectively. In 2019, we opened Howard House, the first county-owned residential facility to serve men who are on the pathway to recovery. In addition, earlier this year, we also opened the county's first Crisis Stabilization Center at Grassroots Crisis Intervention Center, which serves approximately 400 people and places approximately 100 people in substance use treatment every year. However, making sure that we work together to crack down on criminal enterprises is a critical step to ensuring that safety. And a well-executed, coordinated operation like the one we're highlighting today demonstrates that our law enforcement efforts do not know boundaries of jurisdictions. These teams of detectives work together to take down a drug organization that was plaguing our streets. Their tireless work and dedication led to these important indictments, which will have a significant positive impact on our communities. And we greatly appreciate the Attorney General's commitment to continuing to work with us, our investigators, in prosecuting these cases. I'm especially grateful for the work of our team at Howard County Police Department, and I want to give a special shout out again to Police Chief Gregory Durr, and everyone who continued to work on this case and many others. A lot of the names, as the Attorney General said, we can't actually say publicly. But it's through this kind of collaboration that together we will continue to achieve great things and ensure the safety and well-being for all in our community. Thank you.
Good afternoon. I'm glad to be here today to talk about the important case and to express my thanks to Attorney General and Howard County Executive for their support in these investigations. This case is an outstanding example of how collaboration among agencies can have an impactful and lasting effect on our communities. In Howard County, police respond to every suspected drug overdose, fatal or non-fatal. These investigations help us understand how drugs are coming into our community. This significant case all began with an overdose that was fortunately not fatal. Due to the diligent efforts of our patrol officers in Narcotics Division, that incident was the springboard for the indictments of the people behind bars that you hear about today. As opioid overdoses continue to plague neighborhoods throughout the state, Howard County Police never accept them as commonplace. There are strategies that we try to turn into opportunities to stop or slow down the efforts of criminals making these dangerous substances readily available to our residents. The work of undercover detectives are dangerous and challenging positions. As our investigators pursued this case, they were assisted by members of the Maryland State Police Strike Force 7 team and the Attorney General's office. The results of these efforts are the reason we are here today. 6 people have been indicted, and a host of drugs, guns, and paraphernalia are off of our streets. As long as fentanyl and other dangerous drugs plague our communities, we will continue to root out these people responsible for bringing them into our community. Thank you.
Thank you, Chief. Before we take questions, let me just ask the folks in this line to identify themselves and their organization, if you would. I'm afraid I missed some, so please.
Captain Christopher Williams, Howard County Police Department, Major Crimes Bureau.
Major Tommy Hart, Deputy Chief of Criminal Investigations for Howard County.
Captain Harrison, Baltimore City Sheriff's Office.
John Frank, Captain with Maryland Transportation Authority Police, Tactical Investigations Command.
I'm Brian Crow. I'm the Assistant Special Agent in charge with the DEA.
Major Adam Saharsky, Assistant Bureau Chief, Criminal Investigation Bureau.
Literally takes a village. Any questions? Sir?
Any of the individuals who are arrested, do they have criminal records in the past? Did that help you with your case against them?
Some of them did, but I can't give you the rundown. Paul, do you have anything you can say about that?
Yeah, a number of the individuals had criminal records that are publicly available online. Some with drug histories. Yes.
Is it discouraging that some of these individuals, for whatever reason, end up back on the street? How do you combat that when the system, from my word, seems to be broken?
Well, it's a struggle. I mean, that's why we're here today. That's why we have these indictments. We're doing the best we can, but drugs are rampant, and crime is, especially with respect to dangerous drugs like fentanyl, it's not getting out there through doctors' offices. So, and it's on the rise. So we've got a long road ahead of us, and we're doing the best we can. And today, I think, is a really excellent step forward.
So,
yeah.
You mentioned the one police officer who you said you couldn't identify, but I believe you said he did something creative.
I can't really get into it in any greater detail, but he did a great job. That's the real point here.
But you can't tell us what he might have done, that was special in bringing this case about?
Nothing more than what I've already said, unfortunately. Yep.
The Howard County Police Chief said that, I assume it started in his jurisdiction. How were you and your detectives or people able to find out that it was branched out to so many different jurisdictions? And when did you first say, hey guys, I need help?
So through investigative techniques, it was a overdose. It was a non-fatal overdose, which we investigate all, as I spoke with before. Out of information that was developed from that initial overdose, they gathered suspects. we determined that it was broader than just Howard County, so that's when we asked our partners to assist us.
Anyone else?
Any other questions?
All right. Thank you all very much.
Thank you.
Great job, Mr. Chief. Team did fantastic.
Thank you, sir.
Thanks so